Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, just chilling out in the yard with the wife and the dog and babysitting a fire. Because, we live in the South, and, in the South, we like to can everything. We even can our fire. Right there, somewhere back there. See? Can fire. Yep, we can everything here in the South. I guess it's a prepper's lifestyle. You want to have the fire for later, so you can it. But anyway, all joking aside, I think you guys might have noticed that things are looking kind of funny around the world right now. Apparently, last night, there was an attack by Iranian forces on somebody in Iraq. Apparently a bunch of people dead, and the White House did a briefing about midnight last night and kind of did a cursory little scant overview of what was going on, and said something about we retaliated. Well, you're not hearing anything about it today, and that's a little worrisome, because usually when comms go quiet, it usually means things are getting ready to go hot. They kind of quiet everything up, and then they say, okay, we're going to sneak up on them because nobody knows what's going on. Well, it's looking kind of funny because Iran recently did a little threat because of these joint operations that they're going to be doing with China and Russia, and basically an Iranian general, some putz over there, couldn't pronounce his name if I ever tried to, but he's saying that if the Americans get too close to where they're doing their drills out in the open seas, that they're going to sink them. And frankly, I'm getting a little tired of the threats. I don't know about you guys, but I get sick and tired of everybody threatening the U.S. all the time. And I know we get into things that we shouldn't, and that's not our fault. That's not the people, that's the cabal. They running their drugs and stealing the oil of other countries has been a regular occurrence since about 1961, probably before that. But North Korea's starting to bow up their chest again. Then you got China, Russia, and Iran doing these joint training exercises, and then you've got all these threats that they're throwing at us. And I've said it so many times that there has to be an event, because the cabal is being backed into a corner. They're about to be fully exposed, and they would rather go scorched earth and destroy everything around them than to fall on their own sword. So they're going to do something. And this thing in Texas, pray for their families at that church and stuff. This is getting ridiculous. But every time there's an issue being brought forward on gun control, we have these stupid ass shootings, and it's choreographed. We know this by now. When I say that, it's the twin foxtrots, the things they like to do to get their narrative pushed through. Jesse Smollett with a rope around his neck right at the same time they were trying to pass a lynching bill. These shootings that have been happening in the first week of December, it was almost every day, and now we've got another one here in Texas. Well, we've got a thing coming up on the 20th, the March for Virginia, and that's going to be a very serious deal. That's not playtime over there. The cabal has a choice, and they could unleash one of their morons to come spray the crowd with a 30-round magazine just to get their point across. But what they don't realize is that if they do that, then we are essentially at war, and they want us to be at war with each other. The infighting has got to stop. We cannot be fighting each other like militia groups arguing over who's going to carry what gun and who's going to wear what dress. It's not time for that. It's time to stand up for this country like it was done in the past. But these morons that are being elected or selected, I don't think they're being elected. I think there's too much voter fraud for elections anymore. But they think that if they go ahead and send one of their minions out there and start spraying the crowd with AR rounds, 223 or 5.56, they figure that we're going to turn on each other and start shooting at each other. But that's not going to happen. We're not looking at a civil war because of the elected officials. That's what they want. What we're looking at is another revolution. And if they fire on us when we're up there doing a peaceful but agitating type of a rally or civil disobedience, it's not going to be a rally. It's going to be just like they did in Turkey when Erdogan said he wants everybody to turn in their guns. They all showed up. And I mean, it looked like the whole country showed up outside the door of their capital, and everybody held their guns up in the air and said, hey, come on outside and take them because you want them so bad. They're right here. We brought them to you. Just come on outside and do your thing. But nobody made a move, and all of a sudden the bill was off the table, and everybody got to keep their guns, and everybody was happy. The same thing's going to happen here in Virginia. They're going to have the opportunity to come outside and take them, or they need to shut the hell up, tear up these bills, and carry on their merry little way. It really is that simple. It's not going to be, oh, well, we'll let you slide on this part, we're just going to make you revoke that part. It's no, it's shall not be infringed. It's going to be adhered to from now on. And here in my state in Florida, with this red flag law, I plan on really making a stink about that here because it's being abused already. And I really like my Representative Matt Gaetz, but I have one real problem with him. And the problem is that he says, though the red flag laws are probably going to work if they're done right. Well, they're not being done right. So they need to be overturned. And we need to get our due process back. There's a reason that we have the Fourth Amendment. There's a reason that we have the First, the Second, the Fifth. All of these that are being stomped on by a red flag law. And it's time to get our Constitution back in order. It's time to change that word that was changed back in 1871 and get it of the people instead of for the people again. And get rid of this U.S. corporation crap because we can run as a business, but we don't need to be a corporation because that leads to crony capitalism, and it really leads to the people, us, the slaves, being oppressed more and more for the better good of their corporation. So a few things have to change, and this Virginia trip is going to be the start of that change. It's going to be entirely up to them how they handle it. I'm not intimidated, and I'm not even afraid of being arrested or any of that crap because even though they don't like to admit it and they like to claim all this maritime law and the bar exam of the British Accreditation Registry, you ask a lawyer, they'll say, oh, no, that's not what that means. Oh, horseshit. Look back further in the when we created this corporation. Lawyers should be smarter than that. They should know what it is they represent. But I know there are some rules and some regulations and some laws that they've put into place, but the Constitution is pretty clear. The articles within it they can try to interpret them any way they want, but they're written pretty plain and clear, and I will have a copy of it with me. If they arrest me, they're going to try to throw the book at me, but I'm going to throw the book right back at them because I'm going to have my own book where their fake unconstitutional laws will have nothing to do with me. And I'll make sure that somehow the information gets out that if I get arrested and they're trying to rake me across the coals and make an example, then I'll make sure to produce a stink about it and get it out on the social media and do whatever I have to do. But anyway, I just want you guys, you got to keep your head on a pivot. You got to be out here looking around. People are going to really start doing some stupid shit, and if we don't catch it before they do it, then more injuries are going to come, more deaths are going to occur because the cabal is very desperate, and they know that they have one choice, and that's scorched earth. If they go down, they're taking the entire world down with them, that kind of thing. So keep your head on a pivot, stay armed, make sure you find your exits, always know your way out, and take care of each other. Do the buddy system. Don't send people out by themselves, because the people on the left are looking for isolated soft targets. So buddy system, y'all. Anyway, as far as Virginia goes, I've been getting some donations from my folks, and I love you guys for it. It's really awesome. You guys are incredible. I'm still going to have my PayPal up there if you want to help with the mission to Virginia. And I'll have my email up there if you want to shoot me a line. But anyway, that's what I got for now. Just stay vigilant out there and stay in the fight.